Hi, Jake with Diode Dynamics. Today in the garage, we're going to be replacing the stock halogen low beam bulbs on this 2014 Ford Fusion with our SL1 LED replacements. Now stay tuned to the end of the video because we do a side-by-side comparison showing you the nearly 20% increase we got out of these projector housings. Installation should only require basic hand tools, so let's get started. Alright, to get started with our installation, we're going to remove this black plastic shroud from the engine bay. You're going to have 9 total rivets that you can remove using a flathead screwdriver or a plastic trim removal tool. Alright, with that black plastic shroud removed, we're now going to loosen the bumper to gain access to the low beams. Now, some of the installation videos that you might come across for this particular make and model are going to tell you to remove the headlights, and that's not actually necessary. Like I said, we're just going to loosen the bumper to gain access. You'll notice that we did put some painter's tape around the headlights, and that's just to prevent any unnecessary scratching. Now, to loosen the bumper, you're going to use a T25 Torx bit on these 3 bolts right here, and then you'll have 2 more plastic rivets on either side. Again, you can use a flathead screwdriver or a plastic trim removal tool. Now that we've gotten our 3 T25 Torx bits and the 2 plastic rivets removed from the front of the bumper, we're going to move down to the fender well where we're going to remove 3 more plastic rivets. Now they can be a little tricky to get to because they're tucked up under here beneath the bumper. So give yourself a few extra minutes to get this done, but they will pop out and then you'll be able to move the bumper and access your low beams. And to finish loosening the bumper, you'll have to repeat this on the other side. It's the same 3 plastic rivets, and again, it can be a little tricky, so give yourself some time. Now with those 3 rivets removed, we can actually pop open the side of the bumper. Now that we've got our bumper loosened, we're actually going to remove this hood stopper to gain access to the headlight so that we can loosen it, not remove it. So reach down underneath with your needle nose pliers, and then there's 2 tabs on either side of the rubber stopper. You'll pinch, and then you should be able to pull the rubber stopper straight out of the bracket. Next, we're going to remove a T30 bolt from the very top, and then 2 10mm bolts from the side here. You'll simply pull up and just wiggle a bit to loosen this plastic piece. All right, once you have that plastic piece out of the way, you're going to see 1 more 10mm bolt up under the bracket. Now, we will warn you, be careful when pulling this bolt out because it will have a tendency to just drop down straight into the engine bay. So when you pull the bolt out, take it slow and make sure that you can hold on to it. With that last 10mm bolt out of the way, we're actually going to remove the rest of this bracket to give ourselves a little more access with the headlight. There is 2 more plastic rivets back here, but they're not attached to anything, so you'll simply just need to wiggle them out of place. Last on the list is to remove this final T25 bolt. That'll give us all the access we need to our low beams. All right, with everything out of the way and the bumper loosened, it's still going to be a tight fit. So you're going to remove the factory dust cap. And with the factory dust cap out of the way, you should have enough room to sneak your hand down in there and remove the factory low beam. All right, then you'll depress this tab and disconnect your factory bulb. Now, you're going to see here with installing our SL1 LED low beams that the big tab on the collar is going to be sitting up near the top, if not slightly towards the passenger side when you insert the bulb. Then, once you have it in the housing, you're going to rotate it clockwise to secure it, and that'll give you the vertical alignment that you're after. Now on these bulbs, it's important to note as well that the collar does require about 105-degree rotation in order to get us the correct alignment in the fusion housing. The link to our collar rotation instruction video is in the description below. So to start, we'll plug our H11 SL1 into the factory harness. And then again, we're gonna have that big tab pointed nearly vertical when we insert the bulb. Then once the bulb is in the housing, rotate it clockwise for vertical alignment. Now again, the fitment here is going to be super tight. So once you have the bulb into the housing, we'd recommend pushing it in place with your right hand and then rotating it so that it locks with your left hand. Again, it's tricky, so give yourself a few extra minutes to get the bulb fully seated. With our bulb and harness tucked neatly in the housing, we're going to reinstall our factory dust cap so that nothing can get in the headlight. With our dust cap back in place, we can start reassembling all the pieces that we removed to gain access to the headlight. This will finish everything we need to do on the driver's side. Now we're going to repeat all the same steps on the passenger side. We would recommend turning on your low beams, make sure everything's functioning properly, and that'll finalize our installation of the low beams, and we'll be able to resecure our bumper and fender wells. With our SL1 LED low beam bulbs installed, you can see that we not only have a 21st century look that is much more fitting of the Ford Fusion styling, but our maximum output went from 447 max lux with our halogen bulbs to 524 with the LEDs for a nearly 20% increase. These bulbs are available right now on diodedynamics.com, so click the link below for more information or use our dealer locator tool to find a dealer near you. Thanks for watching.